2015, we had already realized that the climate crisis is the gravest danger mankind has ever faced. We, in 2025, are already seeing global average temperatures above normal by not only 1.5 but by 1.75 degrees centigrade also. It's a great warning sign. We have to start with the ground reality. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change that has set up the provision for the COPs, Conference of Parties, so that we are able to pose some kind of effective challenge to the climate crisis. 2015, we had already realized that the climate crisis is the gravest danger mankind has ever faced. It was already clear to us, 2015. In fact, it was very clear even before 2015. So 2015, we set a target for ourselves. We said we have to reduce our carbon emissions by 43% before 2030. And we have to come to a net zero state by 2050. And if this we successfully do, only then we'll be able to limit the global average temperature rise to below 1.5 degrees. So there were two things. One, the objective was to limit the temperature rise to 1.5 degrees centigrade above normal. This was the objective. And the means was the reduction of emissions compared to the 2019 levels. That was the means. Now, if the means has not been taken care of, obviously the objective is not going to be met. The objective has not been met. The 1.5 degree temperature rise that we wanted to desperately avoid, that is already upon us. We, in 2025, are already seeing global average temperatures above normal by not only 1.5 but by 1.75 degrees centigrade also. Right? So that threshold has been breached. And it's a great warning sign. Reason? We did not dream up the figure of 1.5 degrees. There was solid, hard scientific logic to it. Just after 1.5 degrees rise above the normal, feedback loops, they set in. And what is the feedback loop? It is a self-sustaining, self-reinforcing cycle of carbon emissions that does not require any human intervention, any human mistake for it to sustain. Which means that once a feedback cycle starts, after that, even if you drop your emissions to zero, the cycle would still continue to operate and roll on. And so more and more carbon will be added to the atmosphere, even if you do nothing at all. And the more the carbon gets added to atmosphere, the more that cycle will intensify. It's a feedback cycle. So A does B, and B in its turn reinforces A. A causes B, B strengthens A. The more A is strengthened, the more it causes B. The more B is caused, the more it reinforces A. That's called a feedback cycle. And those feedback cycles have already started. And we are nowhere serious about the whole thing. The proof is that by 2030, we wanted 43% reductions, and we are close to having 0% reductions. If we accurately measure where we have reached, it would be plus minus 2%. Either emissions have reduced by 2%, or maybe they have actually increased by 2%. Both the situations are close to zero. We have done nothing at all. We stand exactly where we stood in 2019, and the temperatures they just keep increasing every passing year, and that spells catastrophe. This is the end, and this is not being highlighted by any party whatsoever. It is as if mankind has collectively taken a suicidal decision. We are saying this is upon us and we don't want to do anything about us. Trump has pulled out of the US agreement, of the Paris agreement. And this is the second time he's doing that. Not only has he pulled out of the Paris Accord, he's saying we'll dig deeper to get gas, oil, and we'll not just use it, we'll actually export it. We'll even excavate Alaska. beneath all the sheets of ice. If there is oil or gas to be found, we'll dig it out. And that kind of mindset is there. Uh, Environmental sciences, the climate crisis, these things are being expunged from the curricula of schools and colleges, and especially in the US, there is a clamp down. They don't want people to talk of it. They don't want to this to get into the popular discourse. Conversations are being screened. Public conversations are being screened for climate. It's so. How am I mistaken in thinking that we have actually decided, we have actually resigned and said that this is our fate and nothing can be done about it? But then it is not a question of our fate. It is a question of this planet. It is a question of the coming generations. It is also a question of the millions of other species for whom the planet is home. We don't monopolize this place, do we? Right? So what right do we have to decide to just give up on this planet and then shoot ourselves all the way to Mars? That's what we seem to have decided. But what about the millions of innocent species who have done nothing to deserve extinction, but are going extinct every day by the rate of dozens per day for no fault of theirs at all? So that's why this Operation 2030, to sensitize people to this. And when people are sensitized to this, then they'll be able to revisit their priorities. They'll be able to see that the kind of people they idolize and admire, they are the ones chiefly responsible for bringing this crisis upon us. A quarter of the total global emissions come from the top 1% rich population of this planet. Top 10% of the rich population contributes for more than 50% emissions. And in contrast, the bottom 50% contribute only around 5%. So this is a problem created by the rich, but not paid for by the rich. They do it and we suffer. Because emissions don't really respect national boundaries. What you have emitted in the US doesn't stay there. It affects the global climate. So what the US does is paid for by India, by the poor on in India. Right? Climate injustice. But we are not talking of it. We are behaving as if everything is hunky-dory. It is not. We are in the most dangerous phase that history has ever known. Our 3,000-4,000 year old recorded history has never seen such a dangerous phase. What can be more dangerous than getting obliterated altogether? We are not just going extinct, we are taking the entire planet along with us to destruction. Final destruction, irreversible destruction.